Hi guys, it's Mrs. Millison. Okay, we're going to do accessor methods today, section 5.4. I've got my inventory class up that we've been working on with my instance variables. I had a couple constructors or 3 constructors, and I did create my method here, my string to string method. So this is where it belongs, in the accessor methods part, because what it's doing is just simply accessing the variables, quantity, item, price, and on sale for whatever object I decide to print using this method. Okay. All right, we're going to create some more. All right, let me come up here, put some space in here. I'll put it underneath them. Okay, so these are my accessor methods. Oh, and I was going back to my file here, and I noticed in the other video I spelled constructors wrong, so I fixed it here. Sorry about that. Again, wish Java had spell check, but oh well. Okay. All right, what we're going to do is we're just going to create our 4 quick accessor methods to access an object's name, the item name, the quantity, price, and on sale. Okay, and these will all be non-void methods because I want to return the proper type. I want to return a string, an int, a double, or a boolean. Okay, so let me come down here. So we're just going to call this first one public string get item name. Okay, no parameters needed. So all we're going to do here is return the item's name. I think item was the name of the variable, right? There it is. Yeah, I couldn't remember. Here it is. Item, quantity, price, and on sale. I always got to go back and forth. I can never remember the words. All right. So that's it. That's an accessor method. It's literally just going to get the item's name when we run it with an object. Okay. Let's create them all and then we'll run them. So let's do int for the quantity. So get quantity and no parameters. And I'm just going to return quantity because that is my instance variable. Okay. And let's see. Double, we got to get the price. I will return. Remember, whenever we have a non-void method, so when we have a method that's going to yield a string, an int, a double, or a boolean, we have to have a return statement. Okay, it's going to look for a return statement, and whatever we're returning has to be that data type that we specified in our method signature. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to scroll up so much. All right, let's do the last one for the on sale. What did I call this? Get sale status. And then we return on sale. Okay, so now when I run any of these method names with an object, it'll return me the value that's stored in that variable. Okay, let's compile. And we'll go over to our tester. And again, we had our 3 objects. So if I run book, get item, it's going to tell me children's book. If I run plant, get item, or get item name, whatever, it's going to tell me poinsettias. Okay, so let's do a couple of these. Now for this one, I'm just going to create it first. So if I do book, and I always forget, what did I call the method? Get item name. Book dot get item name. Now if I just run that, nothing's going to happen. Okay, because it's not being stored anywhere, it's not being printed, so I need to do something. I can either assign this to a new string name, name it something. Oops. Sorry. I can either name it something and then print XX, or I can just print book dot get item name. All right. I'm just going to do a print, okay, because I'm not going to create more variables. And it depends on what you want to do. If you wanted to use that name later on for something else, you could have created a variable. Put that in parentheses. So now when I print this, all I'm going to print is children's books. Okay, and there's my children's books. Okay, now if I do get price or something, or get quantity, Now remember, my children's book quantity is 0 because it used that default constructor where it had, or that one constructor where it had 0 quantity as the default. So I'm just going to get 0. Okay. Now again, how does it know what quantity or what name to get? Because it's looking at the item name or the quantity for that specific object that you're attaching it to. So if I'm just going to cheat a little bit and copy and paste. So if I run these same methods with, say, the puzzle object, it will return me the puzzle name and the puzzle quantity. Okay. Okay, so there's my puzzle name and my puzzle quantity. All right. So these are getters. All I did was, and accessors, all I did was access or get some of the values. Okay. There was one more I wanted to do. Where was it? Oh, the stock update. Yes, let's go back and build our method for stock update, because all that's really doing is getting the quantity, or it's going to print us out whether we have the items in stock or they're not in stock, okay, or we're out of stock. So I called this, it's going to yield a string, okay, and I called this stock update. And again, I'm not going to put any parameters in here because I don't need to modify anything. Okay, I'm just going to do a little if statement here, because if my quantity for my object is 0, I want it to say I'm out of stock, okay, with the item name. But if it's greater than 0, I want to know how many I have, okay? So the first thing I got to do is I have to return a string. So I'm going to create my string, something, and then down here I'm going to return it. So I think I called my string stock info. Okay, so I'm going to create it first, and it's just going to be blank. So down here, I'm going to return stock info. Oops. Okay, so now let's build what's going to populate that word, that string stock info. So basically, if the quantity is equal to 0, it's going to stock info is going to say out of stock. So let's say if quantity is equal to 0, stock info will say out of stock. Let's add the item in there. Okay, so I'm going to say item equals is out of stock. How's that? Let's capitalize the S too. Why not? Okay. That's what's going to happen if the quantity is 0. Now, what quantity is it going to check? Which object? Well, whatever object we run the stock update with, it'll check its quantity and it'll tell us whether it's out of stock or not. Okay. So if it's not out of stock, we're going to return that it's not out of stock. So we're going to say stock info equals, I'm going to say inventory for such and such item is whatever. So I'm going to say inventory for item, oops, is quantity. Yeah, I think that's all I wanted. Okay, so then now, because it's either going to equal 0 or it's not, there's no third option. Okay, so if the quantity equals 0, it's going to tell me the item's out of stock, and it's going to tell me the item name. If it's not, if it's greater than 0 or even less than 0, it's going to tell me how many I have. Okay, so again, this is a string method. Okay, I built the string at the beginning of the method, and I got to return it at the end. And then I used an if state to populate what stock info would be depending on the quantity. And it's going to look at whatever object we run this with. It'll look at the quantity and the item name from it to run. Okay, so let's compile that. Let's come back over to inventory tester. Okay, so we want to do, we'll just do our book and our puzzle. Okay, because we know our book is 0. We know we have 0 books, and we have 100 puzzle pieces, or 100,000 piece puzzle, so I know we're good. Oh, I forgot. What was the method called again? Stock update. Okay, so let's do book stock update. And then let's do puzzle stock update. Okay, and again, I think I need to put these in a system printout. Let's see, I don't think anything will run Oh, I guess I could put the semicolon because I believe I have to print them, but let's see. Yeah, again, nothing prints because what's happening is this is yielding a string. So I can either assign the value of this from the method to a new string, or I can just print it. Of course, I'm going to just print it. This one. Okay, so let's look at this. Oh, I should say the book is out of stock. Oh, look at that. I need a space in there. So children's books is out of stock. Little bad grammar there. But inventory for 1,000-piece puzzles is 100. Okay, so it ran through that method. Let me come over and fix that method real quick. There we go. I need a space right there. Um, let's do this. That way we'll deal with any grammar issues. Okay. So we'll come back. Let's just run it one more time. There we go. Children's books out of stock. Inventory for 1,000-piece puzzles is 100. So very good. Okay. So these are just some different accessor methods. We didn't modify anything. All we did was use our methods to grab various variables for the whatever object we were running the method off of. Okay. All right. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you next time for mutator methods, where we get to modify some values. All righty.